Thank you, Nisa. So just to get started, I'm going to show you the websites where all the information has been put for as far as anything that you need to know about the conferences. So we'll start with the Science of Global Prostate Cancer Disparities Conference, which will take place at the University of Ilorin in Nigeria. So I'm sharing my screen now. I hope everyone can see that. So this is the landing page for the website, and we have the program listed here. So you'll go under conference info and you can see the 2018 program. This is going to show you just like a synopsis of all the programming, so from the first day until the very last. So you can download this, it's a PDF, and help you plan for your travels as well. So officially starting on the Tuesday, November 6th, and this will continue until the 10th. And there is a special transatlantic slave trade tour that will take place that Sunday. So if you're interested in attending that, consider that for your travels. So that's where the program is located. Registration is found here. So you can identify where you fall into the registration categories, follow the link, and register. It takes online payment. So if you want to go ahead and do that, just make sure that you keep a copy. You receive the receipt in your email. And if you need to cancel for any reason, just let us know as soon as possible. Otherwise, it may not be possible to process that information. So there's still time to submit travel management services. So if you go to the accommodations page, you can see a listing of the flights that are usually available and also which hotels we have partnered with. So if you follow those links and enter the special codes, or whether they have its own page, GPinnacle has its own prostate cancer disparities conference rate, and it's listed on this link here. So you would follow that or use the codes that are listed for some of these there. So you can plan out your hotel. And so the travel management services will basically ask you to look at which flights are you taking to land in Nigeria. So we recommend either landing in Abuja or Lagos, and then let us know the time that you're arriving so we can help you plan for a local flight to Ilorin. So there's a couple ways to get to Ilorin, but we definitely recommend taking a 1-hour flight. It's the easiest way. So you would book your flight for yourself. We definitely recommend that if you are, so this is important information. I know some people are attending the AACR conference in New Orleans, Louisiana. So if that's your case, there's actually a couple people, including Dr. Dedna and some of the committee members will be at that conference, and they have identified a flight through Delta. So they'll be leaving actually through JFK in New York and arriving in Lagos on the 6th. So if you are interested in that flight because you will be at that conference, look to book with Delta Flight 214. So that's this flight here that I'm showing, and that would get you just in time for the conference. So if that's an option that you're looking for, then let us know. We can also connect you with people at AACR so that you can travel together. However, if you are not traveling through AACR, you are coming from a different city, then the recommendation would be for your flight to land in Lagos on the 4th. So if you're coming in on November 4th, then we would book your flight for you to leave on the 5th, and you would get to Ilorin on the 6th, so just right before the conference, which officially starts on the 7th. So that would be the best option. So look to book flights between the 4th or the latest the 5th, just to make sure that you arrive on time on the 7th. So those flights are leaving every morning at 7 a.m. So depending on the time that you arrive, you might need to stay overnight. And if you are landing in Lagos, we actually have hotel partnerships through the Global Congress on Oncology Clinical Trials conference that is taking place the week after. But you could stay at one of those hotels which we have vetted. So the list is also on the travel management services form, or if you want to visit more information, you can go to the Global Congress on Oncology Clinical Trials conference page, and these are your options. So There's about 4 hotels, and they're all highly rated, 4 or 5 stars. And actually, Sheraton Hotel will take American credit card. So the purpose of creating the travel management services was that some of the local companies in Nigeria are not accepting American credit cards. So there needs to be an exchange of currency. However, we have a Prostate Cancer Transatlantic Consortium Foundation in Nigeria, which will facilitate that process for delegates. So once we basically just need you to have some options considered and decided on before you complete this information page. So get your flight to Nigeria. Let us know how you want to get to Lauren, whether you would like to take a 1-hour flight, or if there's a shuttle preference, that's also possible. That just takes about a couple hours longer, I think 4 to 5. And then your hotel. So take a look at the hotels, decide which one you would like to stay in if you need to. So if you need a hotel overnight, it's because you're landing in the afternoon and wouldn't be able to make it for the 7 a.m. flight that leaves to Lauren daily. And then there is also options for excursions and some experiences that are actually have been packaged together through a company in Lagos. So there's the Transatlantic Slave Trade Tour, which you can find all of the details on the excursion pages for either conference. So just keep in mind the dates for those. If you are going to the Prostate Cancer Conference, there's a couple options for the Transatlantic Slave Trade Tour. You can either do the tour on the 11th, so after the conference has ended, or if you are going to both conferences or just the Clinical Trials Conference, then your option is either to arrive early if you're only going to the Clinical Trials Conference on the 11th, or if you are going to both, then you can also do the Friday, November 16th option. So keep that in mind when you are booking your flights to and from Nigeria.
So I had a couple of questions. One is, I think we found a Delta flight. I think it's out of Atlanta. That's a direct flight to Lagos.
Yes, that's usually a good area that flies out frequently is through Atlanta. Yes.
Okay. Is there a reason why Falaki chose to go through New York instead?
I think it's
I'm here.
Hey, Falaki.
Hi, John. It was because we were in New Orleans, and for me, coming back to Atlanta was a little bit dicey because of the time that I'm leaving. So a number of us chose to through JFK and land at 3:20.
Okay, when you say a number of you,
So actually, Camille was the one that found that flight.
Okay.
Yes, we sent it to you, John. You may not.
I remember. No, I thought I remember seeing it. And we were just trying to look, and Heather and I were looking. The other day and saw that Atlanta flight, and I just didn't know why. Why they're.
Yes, it was because it was so. Being at the AAC, especially for my time of presentation.
Right, I get it.
Yeah. So it was. So I think I am on that flight. Camille is on that flight. Right. Renee is on that flight.
It's a later flight. You're saying it's a later flight out of New Orleans.
Yes, I get a later flight out of New Orleans. So we go to JFK.
Okay.
And then we leave JFK. In the evening. Yeah. So
it's direct from JFK to Lagos.
It is directly from JFK to Lagos, and I'm glad you are bringing that up. That people flying into Lagos, because there are quite a number of people flying into Lagos. My recommendation is everybody flies into Lagos.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do.
And then if you're going to Lorry, then there's just a lot of support in Lagos.
Right. Now when we get to Lagos, and we get the hotel room to spend the night, what's the best way for ground transportation?
It's going to be, we are going to arrange the shuttle, and that's what Kim was saying, that we really want everybody to complete the travel service management form, because it allows us to figure out what exactly do you need.
And plan,
Yes, and we will do also the group, the CaPTC group in Nigeria will make all those things for you. They will book your local flight. They would help you, book the hotel if they're not taking the U.S. credit card. They will set up the shuttle service. They will make sure that you are set for the visa upon arrival. And then they
Right.
will send all that details to you and let you know what your bulk price is. And you just then directly deal with the CaPTC, travel service management. It just kind of makes
Okay.
it easier.
No, I get it. I
Yeah,
get it.
for
Makes
people.
sense. That
Yes.
makes sense. Okay. Thanks, Falaki.
Okay, thank you for this question. So yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to just unmute yourself and speak up and we'll address those. So basically, you would select any of those experiences. There's 3. There's the Transatlantic Slave Trade Tour, and this one is a more complete package, so you can see what it includes and also the dates again. And then there's also this experience here, which will be going through the Nike Art Center. So if you want to do that, again, consider the dates for those and plan your travel accordingly. So you would put all of this in the form that we were just talking about. So just let us know which of the conferences you need help booking your local itinerary for.
Yeah, and I also want to say, Kim, while you are still at the experiences, we actually got a couple of inquiry. As some people may know, the president of Canada went to Nigeria, a few weeks ago, and went to the very popular Fela Shrine. And a couple of people have asked that could they also do that experience. So we are trying to organize doing that experience. Also, and then we have also been contacted about people that might want to quote unquote what is known as Nigeria hip hop club scene. So that is also going to be added to that by next week as well. So 2 that we've gotten local groups to look at our groups that, to add on. So we have that, the visit to the Fela Shrine, which is very popular, very well known globally. And then there is the behind the scene hip hop and comedy club for Nigeria. So we're going to add that most probably next week. So I wanted to kind of put that on.
Yes, so everyone keep your eye out for those experiences and we'll get you the dates and the times for that too.
Of course, we want you to come for the science. Not the clubs.
Yeah, we can do both.
So that's the form, and we'll include all of the experiences, excursions. It'll be just whatever you select. We'll build your package for you, and then you would just prepay through wire transfer, so that can be done with a direct wire transfer, Western Union, MoneyGrant, any of those like money exchange services. It's up to you how you would like to pay for those services. And then another question we get a lot is the visa information. So the local organizing committee is actually working to get visa on arrival. So that would be just for 1 or 2 weeks for the conferences that you would receive through, like we are requesting on your behalf. So you should have gotten the email that asks for your passport information page, or if you just want to send us your name as it appears on your passport, the number on your passport, and your nationality, we can get that today. We need that information today to submit on your behalf. Otherwise, there is also the option for the multiple entry visa. And so Dr. Denna is actually going to work on getting some more information to see how that can best be facilitated. So she'll be speaking to the embassy on that matter. But that's when you submit your passport. Yeah, go ahead, Dr. Denna.
I can quickly give back on that. So as Kim said, there are 2 ways of getting your visa. You can do the traditional way in which you send your passport and do all the online to the Nigeria embassies in the US, and there are 3. I know there's one in DC, there's one in Atlanta. I can't remember where the 3rd one is, or maybe there's a 4th one. So what I'm trying to do, because I'm going to be in Clark, Atlanta this weekend, is try to see whether I can go to Atlanta, and try to talk to the top administration in Atlanta for them to watch out for visa requests from people coming to our conference, so that way there would not be any delay. So we can try to do that through, let me just put the keyword try. So I'm going to know for fact on Monday or Tuesday, whether we are able to at least get them to support our conference in such a way that they will look at for people who are traveling down due to our conference for that. The second way is the visa on arrival. We've already made all the done all the processes for visa on arrival. What the local team would need is what Kim just said we are going to need your passport information. We are going to need your ticket information. And then I think other things that are listed is on the website. And we were asking for you to get it to us by September 15. It does not mean that if you don't get it to us today, we would not try to support, but the later you get it to us, the harder it's going to become for us to be able to do that for you. So with the visa on arrival, you are pre-approved and you will get a letter from the immigration on Nigeria saying that you can come in and you will, pay on site, or you pay online, and then your visa will be waiting for you when you get to Nigeria. So the question then becomes, why do one over the other? For those who are selecting the traditional way, is because they are going to be able to apply for multiple entry visa multiple years. So that's the advantage of doing the traditional way. If you are doing visa on arrival, you are only going to get the days that you're going to be there for the conference. Just those days. It's going to be the date that your ticket says you're coming in and the date that your ticket says that you're going out, and you have to leave. So it becomes a little bit of a challenge. If you want to stay a few more days, then you have to really walk into the immigration and try to get an extension. So we've had people who prefer the traditional way. If you're going the traditional way, please do it as soon as possible. I would say before the end of this month, so that you have that worked out. So I just kind of wanted to sort of make that very clear why people are choosing one over the other.
Great.
Falaki, this is Camille. Do you have an idea of what the cost is for the visa to pay on site, and do you need to carry cash, Nigerian currency, or credit cards? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a great point. So there are two ways. I think they're doing it to most probably pay online. I can't remember. I'm thinking like it might be $150 or $200. We can check. I will make sure that I check and then we get back to you. I'm not sure whether Dr. Kokola is on. Dr. Kokola may know the exact amount. So with regard to carrying cash, I think most probably I doubt they're going to do credit card, so I would say it may be best to pay online. I have your receipt that you have paid online. Another thing, if you don't want to, pay online and you don't want to carry cash with you, might be to maybe work with the travel management service and just pay them prior to you going. And so the people who are going to be there for the logistics service would actually pay for you when you get there. So that's a great question. But I will confirm the exact amount unless Dr. Kokola is on and he can confirm the exact amount. So we'll make sure that we send that out to you. But I think when I was in Abuja, I think it was like maybe $200 that they told me. But let me just confirm and make sure.
Okay.
All right. So that's for the visa information. Another important thing to get started now rather than later is your vaccinations. So you can see here the recommended vaccinations for traveling to Nigeria, and yellow fever is one of those that you really should be looking for getting that as soon as possible. They are in shortage. So in the U.S., there is a way to find a clinic nearest to you. We recommend doing that now to make an appointment, and they actually offer the vaccines that are good for life. So if you haven't already had it, you just got to do this at one time and you'll be okay. We know that there are some delegates from other countries that are having difficulty. So we'll continue working with you to get some information on whether we'll be able to offer vaccinations on arrival. So hold on for that if you definitely know that it's difficult to get the yellow fever vaccine where you are located. But let us know, yeah.
So we would try to confirm before the end of September on that. One of our CaPTC PIs who is at National Hospital in Abuja is working with the Ministry of Health Infectious Disease Center to see whether they are able to provide such. And also I've had a couple of people email me saying that, somebody told me that yellow fever is a maybe, you really don't have to have it. To be honest with you, I've walked into Nigeria. They did ask for the yellow fever vaccine and for yellow fever records. Like, we don't want anybody to have any problem coming in. So you never know who you're going to get coming through immigration. And it is stated by Nigeria that you need a yellow fever vaccine. So I think if you can get it in the US, please, or the Caribbean, please make sure that you get it. But we should be able to have something based on the follow-up that Dr. Jibril is doing in Abuja to see whether, if there's such a shortage, if there's a way to have the Ministry of Health provided as a minimal fee at the airport.
I have one more question. This is actually from an AC3 member in Guadeloupe who wants to know if there would be a problem with their travel card being in French with the vaccination information.
I don't think so. Okay, yes, Camille, you're coming with all the interesting questions now. Yeah, these are my people and they don't understand French. So
I had to ask
them. Let's just say that. So Kim, could you put that down so that we can follow up with the LOC, and then alert them that there may be people who are coming in, bringing their cards in different languages, so that our people don't give them problems. Okay,
no problem.
We'll make sure that we do that. Thank you, Camille.
That's a great question. Thank you so much. All right, so those are the main things that we wanted to talk about. Does anyone else have any questions now for the prostate cancer conference? Okay, so I'll move on to the Global Congress on Oncology Clinical Trials in Blacks. So basically a lot of the same information. You can still work through us to get your visa. You definitely still need the same vaccines, and the travel management services is also offered the same way. However, it's a little bit easier because for once you get to Lagos, and if you're only coming for this conference, you won't need anything beyond a shuttle to your hotel. And actually, I do want to emphasize that the conference venue will be the Sheraton Hotel in Lagos. So that's one of the hotels that you can book through the conference, and they do take credit cards again. So I know I received a question that asked, should we reserve hotels ourselves, or will the conference coordinators help with that? If you are booking for both conferences, then you will need assistance for the local hotels in Ilorin. However, if you are going through with just the clinical trials conference, you can book the Sheraton Hotel online with an American credit card, or I suppose other countries as well. And another question was, going back to the prostate cancer conference, when will flights to and from Ilorin be finalized? So these are local airports, and they don't always post all of the flights, that are months away. However, Dr. Denna did a site visit and spoke to the airline to let them know that we're having a number of delegates arriving. So we really need people to let us know through the forms the dates that they're arriving, because if you need a local flight, then it would actually be easiest to group everyone together who are arriving on similar dates and have just one flight with all delegates. So the sooner you can get us the information, we are able to book a special flight. If not, just let us know and we'll see what's available now and let you know. So back to the clinical trials conference, you can fill out the same form and let us know if you're traveling from the prostate cancer conference, or if this is the only conference you're going to, just so we can provide the services that you would need. So basically the same information, registration, everything is online on the tabs. Does anyone have any questions at this point?
Yeah, this is John. I just want to revisit the visa. It was just something that came to mind.
Okay.
So Falaki, my feeling is probably just to try to go the standard route and get the visa for a year or maybe even 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, if in the event that something crazy happens, like it did before, and the visa doesn't come in time, would I still have the option to get the visa when I get to Nigeria, or does one cancel out the other option? Meaning, if they know
it does not.
It doesn't.
No, it does not. But please, for those unique cases, we really need to know at least about 3 or 4 months if you start having problems. That's why we're saying that.
Yeah.
And I agree with you, John. Yes, you do need to get multiple visa.
Yeah.
But,
We'll do it, and we'll go through Atlanta.
Yeah.
The Atlanta embassy to do it.
So actually, I'm actually co-opting, John, my husband, I'm co-opting him to help us with Atlanta because he actually knows the top administrator there. So I'm really telling him to please go and beg on our behalf so that when anything comes for our conference, they would not delay and they would respond almost immediately. So hopefully we will get that down by Monday or Tuesday, and then we'll send an email out about it. So definitely for people who envision developing, research relationship in Nigeria, I may go back. I would definitely say you don't want to do the visa on entry. For those who are really just going to come in and that's it, yes, you might want to do the visa on entry.
Okay, so we'll get that going and get that paperwork in probably next week, and we'll let you know, and that way we'll keep you posted throughout the process as that moves forward. So. Thanks.
Definitely.
Thanks,
Yes.
Falaki.
Okay.
All right. So, any more questions for anyone? Okay. So I do want to just summarize again what we went through for the Global Prostate Cancer Conference. We recommend that if you are hoping to arrive the day of the conference, the 7th, you should leave the latest by the 5th. However, if you can get a flight leaving on the 4th, that's your best case scenario. You will need to stay overnight in Lagos. So fill out the travel management services form, and we can book one of those hotels for you. Again, Sheraton Hotel is available to book online yourself if you would like. We could also still help with that hotel if you decide on that one. For any of the excursions and experiences, please check out the dates those are being offered and add them to your itinerary. So whatever time you book your flights to arrive in Nigeria and to leave Nigeria, if that fits in, let us know. We'll add it to your package. Make sure to register if you know you're going for sure, just so we can start to build the database of people who are going and link up anyone that might be leaving from the same area, so that you can travel together if possible. For the visa information, again, send us your passport information page if you would like to request the visa on arrival. However, if you want to do the multiple entry visa that was just being discussed, make sure you start that right away in order to prevent any delays later on. For vaccines, again, just make sure you get all the recommended vaccines, and if you have any issue with yellow fever in your area, and we're not already aware, I know we have some information on members in the Caribbean who are not able to access as readily. If you haven't, let us know. Please do so, just so we will know the quantity that might be needed as well. So that's for the Global Prostate Cancer Conference. A lot of the similar information for the Clinical Trials Conference. So just let us know what services you need, whether you just need the shuttle to the hotel once you arrive in Lagos. If you are also attending the Transatlantic Slave Trade Tour, then you'll need to arrive either early, or you can do the last day on the 16th. So either the 11th or the 16th for Transatlantic Slave Trade Tour, which is what we really recommend that everyone gets the chance to experience. And it's a special package that was set up for us. So it'll just be our group traveling with our tour guides.
Hello, Kim.
Oh, yep, go ahead.
Hello, this is Victoria.
Hi, how are you?
I'm all right, thank you. I just had a question now. Falakemi mentioned about the other two extracurricular activities which people have been asking for, like the nightclub and also the Fella Shrine and the shrine and So I just want to know what dates that would be, because if the Badagry visit is going to be on the 16th, which is the last day, would that be before the 16th or after, so that when we're planning our flights?
Yeah, we would set that. So they're working on it and they're going to send something to me, and we will send that out. We will put that on the website by next week. That's a great question. We want to kind of, so we want to make, going to Fella Shrine is special. So we want to put some themes together to make sure, that everything is cool. So we are going to have all that information packaged and send out next week. We are actually going to try to make it before the 16th because as you know, there are quite a number of us who are coming from Ilorin already. So we want to, for those who are staying over for the clinical trials, we want to make sure that, they don't have to spend extra days. So it's definitely going to be between the Ilorin trip and the 16th.
Okay.
We are not going to do it much more than that. We are putting it right there.
Yes.
All right.
So if you're only coming for the clinical trials conference, then probably recommend to get there earlier between the end of the prostate cancer conference, which ends officially on the 10th, and then the slave trade tour is on the 11th. So probably between the 11th and then the last day of the clinical trials, the 16th. So you want to plan between those times.
Thank you.
And I want to emphasize two things, before we close that. Number one, I really would say everybody flying into Lagos, unless there's really, really something that is making you fly into Abuja, to be honest with you. It's best to flying into Lagos. And then secondly, please complete the travel. If you're coming from outside Africa, please complete the travel form. Even if you are not going on excursions, even if that way we know, the local organizing committee know that you are coming in. We are going to have protocol service that somebody will be right there when you come in before you get into immigration to welcome you. But we want to be expecting you. So even if you don't want anything from us and you're coming from outside Africa or coming from outside West Africa, I would say still complete the form.
Yes, so I do see some questions on payment for travel and lodging. So for the hotels in either Ilorin or Lagos, or if you're using any of the shuttle services and you need receipts for your institution, we will be able to provide those. So the payment can be done through wire transfer with our CaPTC Nigeria Foundation. So that has official documentation too that will provide your proof of wire and everything. So once we set up your itinerary, you'll get all of the receipts for anything that was paid on your behalf, and we'll be able to also give you a receipt for using CaPTC Nigeria Foundation for the exchange of money.
Balaki, I can't get DG to drive me around.
Okay, if there are no other questions, we want to thank you for logging in. We are also going to, this is being recorded, so the link is going to be sent out by Kim to everyone. Of course, when you get another chance to listen or to review the website, if you have any other questions, please email the CaPTC email. We will try to get a response back to you within 24 and 48 hours. Kim and
I'm not sure I think the audio might have cut out, but yeah. So if you are requesting any of the services, just do that as soon as possible. If you have any questions about planning your travel for dates and which flights to take, also let us know. And again, we'll try to link you with anyone that we know is coming from your area. So yeah, I'll stay online for until noon. If you have any questions, you could just pop back in. This will be a running session. Any of the recordings will be posted, and you'll all receive information for that. And again, thank you so much for attending and making sure that you have all the information that you need for the conferences. We are so excited to welcome you to Nigeria. And for those of you already in Nigeria, thank you so much for allowing us to have our conference in your beautiful cities. So we're so excited, and we hope that everyone has good experience booking their travel. And it's coming down really soon, so let us know what questions you do have. And again, thank you so much.
Thank you, Kim. And I think you raised one important point that I want to emphasize before we close, that we would like to link everybody who is coming at the same time so that they are able to actually travel together. So that's why it is also important to complete the travel form, so that we can have everyone who is traveling from, you know, outside the country, if they're actually traveling together, so that they kind of know each other and can travel together. So that would be great. Thank you.
All right, so if you feel your questions have been answered, then you can, you know, feel free to log off. I'll stay on in case anyone joins later and has specific questions. Otherwise, thank you so much, and have a great evenings, rest of your days.